Om Sairam, Om Shri Radhakrishna Mayata KG. Welcome back to all the viewers, those who are watching our channel. Today, I am going to read Shri Sai Satcharita, Chapter 2, Part 2. I could not myself ask Sai Baba to give me permission for this book. So I requested Mr. Madhavarao Deshpande, alias Shama, Baba's most intimate devotee, to speak to him for me. He pleaded my cause and said to Sai Baba, "This Nana Sahib wishes to write your biography. Don't say that you are a poor fakir and there is no necessity to write it. But if you agree and help him, he will write, or rather, your grace will accomplish the work. Without your consent and blessing, nothing can be done successfully." When Sai Baba heard this request, he was moved and blessed me by giving his udi and placing his boon bestowing hand on my head. Said, "Let him make a collection of stories and experiences. Keep notes and memos. I will help him. He is the only outward instrument. I should write my autobiography myself and satisfy the wishes of my devotees. He should get rid of his ego, surrender it at my feet. He who acts like this in life, him I help the most. What of my life stories? I served him in his house in all possible ways. When his ego is completely annihilated and there is no left trace of it, I shall enter into him and shall myself write my own story. Hearing my stories and teachings will create a faith in devotees' hearts, and they will easily get self-realization and bliss. Let there be no insistence on establishing one's own view, no attempt to refute others' opinions, no discussion of pros and cons of any subject." Significant and prophetic title. The word discussion put me in mind of my promise to explain the story of getting the title Hemad Band, and now I begin to read the same. I was on a close friendly terms with Kaka Sahib Dikshit and Nana Sahib Chandodkar. They pressed me to go to Shirdi and have Baba's darshan, and I promised them to do so. But something in a meanwhile turned up which prevented me from going to Shirdi. The son of a friend of mine at Lonawala fell ill. My friend tried all the possible means, physical and spiritual, but the fever would not abate. At length he got his guru and sit by the bedside of his son, but too there was no avail. Hearing this, I thought, what was the utility of the guru if he could not save my friend's son? If the guru can't do anything for us, why should I go to Shirdi at all? Thinking this way, I postponed my Shirdi trip. But the inevitable must happen, and it happened in my case as follows. Mr. Nana Sahib Chandodkar, who was a divisional officer, was going on a tour to Besin. From Tana, he came to Dadar and was waiting for the train to Besin, bound for Besin. Meanwhile, a Bandra local turned up. He sat in it and came to Bandra and sent for me and took me to task of putting my Shirdi trip. Nana's argument for my Shirdi trip was convincing and delightful, and so I decided to start my Shirdi trip same night. I packed up my luggage and started for Shirdi. I planned to go to Dadar and from there to catch up the train for Manmat, and so I booked myself for Dadar and sat in the train. While the train was to start, a Mohammedan came hastily to my compartment and seeing all my paraphernalia asked me where I was bound to. I told him about my plan. He then suggested that I should go straight to Boribandar and not to wait at Dadar, as Manmat Mail did not stop at Dadar. If this little miracle or Leela had not happened, I would not have reached Shirdi next day, as settled, and many doubts would have assailed me. But that was not to be. As fortunate favored me, I reached Shirdi the next day before 9 or 10 a.m., when there was only one place, Satyavada, for lodging pilgrim devotees. After alighting from the Tonga, I was anxious to have darshan, when the great devotee Tatya Sahib Nolkar returned from the masjid and said that Sai Baba was at the corner of the Wada and that I should first get the preliminary darshan and then, after bath, see him at leisure. Hearing this, I ran and prostrated before Baba, and my joy knew no bounds. I found more than what Nana Chandodkar had told me. All my senses were satisfied, and I forgot my thirst and hunger. The moment I touched Baba's feet, I began a new lease of life. I felt myself much obligated to those who spurred and helped me to get the darshan, and I considered them as my real relatives, and I cannot repay their debt. I only remember them as a prostrate before them. The peculiarity of Sai Baba's darshan, as I found it, is that by his darshan our thoughts are changed, the force of previous actions are abated, and gradually non attachment or dispassion towards the worldly object grows up. It is by the merit of actions in many past births that such darshan is got. And if only you see Sai Baba, all the world assumes in the form of Sai Baba. I'll continue the remaining part of the chapter in our next video. Om Sai Ram, Om Shri Radhakshna Maitai ki Jai.